Groups pushing for changes to Texas's marijuana policy are optimistic 2019 is their year. The Texas GOP recently signaled support to its party convention to change the law and make it a civil offense for adults caught with an ounce or less of marijuana. That includes up to a fine of $100. Texans for Responsible Marijuana Policy say right now the criminal penalties can scar a person's record. Groups wary of decriminalization say if that's the route lawmakers take, proper punishments must be in place.
Criminal record leads to collateral consequences such as hindered access to education, employment, housing.
If they're committing crimes with it, they need to be held accountable. You don't want to exclude accountability when it comes to drugs because especially if the person's abusing those drugs. So you want to be very careful and you want to work with law enforcement with that.
During its convention, the Texas GOP also showed support for 3 other policies that includes allowing doctors to determine the right amount of cannabis use to recommend to patients with debilitating medical conditions, rescheduling the federal classification of cannabis, and urging legislators to allow cultivation, manufacture, and sale of industrial hemp and hemp products.
Okay, time now to recap the top stories making headlines here in Central Texas. Waco ISD hosting a pair of town hall meetings tonight to discuss some topics on top of all parents' minds, both safety and security.
Fox 44's Maribel Santiago was at the meeting at the City Community Center. What was mentioned this evening?
Well, Robert and Leslie, lots of topics were discussed. This included law enforcement, mental health, grants for crisis responses and programs, among several other discussions tonight. And dozens of parents stood up to talk about these topics. And more than 100 people showed up here at this facility to address issues following school shootings across the nation. We spoke to Maria Aguilar. She was one of those parents. She hopes these conversations are just one of many in the district.
I think that all of these things that were discussed today were actually noted and they'll be discussed. And I hope that, I want to know what the plan is for our kids, you know, what the plan's in place. I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I definitely feel like these are helpful so that on both sides they know where we're coming from and we know what he's looking at.
Now, Superintendent Dr. Marcus Nelson attended a state roundtable. He attended tonight's meeting, but attended a state roundtable following the Santa Fe High School shooting, which happened exactly a month ago. And he wanted to bring what was addressed at the state level here to the community. And on top of the discussions tonight, there will be a roundtable discussion with administration staff next Tuesday, and we'll have more information as that becomes available. Robert, Leslie, back to you.
All right, thanks, Maribel. House Republicans are scrambling right now to resuscitate their immigration plan. Now, this week, the House is expected to take up 2 immigration bills, one conservative bill and one that they're calling the compromise bill.
Yeah, but President Trump says he's not sure if he's even going to sign whichever ends up on his desk. Anna Warnicki in Washington tonight with more.
After weeks of protests, petitions, and political battles, 2 immigration bills may finally be heading to the House floor. The first bill, sponsored by Virginia Republican Bob Goodlatte, would cut legal immigration and give temporary status to Dreamers, the young people brought to the U.S. illegally as children. And the second bill is being called a compromise. It would give Dreamers a slow path to permanent legal status, cut legal immigration, and set aside billions of dollars to fund the president's border wall.
I have concerns with both of those bills.
Texas Republican Congressman Will Hurd says he wants to fix U.S. immigration law, but neither of these bills do that, even if they build the border wall.
An over-reliance on a 4th century solution to border security that's actually too expensive and doesn't work.
There is no moderate or compromise bill in front of the Congress this week.
And Texas Democrat Lloyd Doggett says a solution for Dreamers should be separate from any bill that addresses a border wall.
They're being held hostage to get $25 billion as the price of the ransom for Donald Trump's wall.
Even if the House agrees on one of these immigration plans, President Trump says he may not be willing to sign either of the bills.
We need borders, we need security, we need safety.
But Hurd says lawmakers need to take action now.
The president's actually not my boss. It's the 800,000 people that I represent.
House Republicans plan to meet with the president on Tuesday to try and get on the same page. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
A driver and passenger walk away with minor injuries after crashing into a pole and then a home in Temple. Police say the driver lost control going westbound on Avenue H. Crews did shut down a portion of the street for several hours to fix some of the damage. One woman who was moving inside when it was hit is thankful she wasn't hurt.
Very thankful. Like I said, I really think God was watching over everyone today.
The crash impact threw off the building's foundation, destroying an air conditioning unit. The property owners are still estimating the exact cost of damage.
The Fox 44 weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mike LaPointe.
Like a little warm today, but not as warm as it has been, and I like the cloud
like
coverage.
The cloud coverage? We all like it.
But no rain. It was such a tease.
I know. We had just a sprinkle or two. You're right. Nothing official here in Waco, but we have some more chances. So.